The next method we're going to be creating is called load. So comma after the pop, we start load, colon function, and we pass URL as parameter. And we go for URL equals triple equals symbol /. If it's /, then we go for YGWYG, which is the default page basically. Otherwise, we use URL. Now jQuery.get JSON, and we pass obviously our URL as first parameter. Then we go for the data Ajax equals 1. So basically, when we load, if you may remember, if we go to index.php, here we check whether there is a Ajax parameter in the URL. If there is, then obviously we only want the array with the values. Otherwise, we load in the template plus the values. So we only want the array with the values in this case. And then we go for function data based on obviously what's returned from by calling this specific method. Then we go for jQuery.each data function key and value as parameters. And what we now do is look for the element with the specific ID represented by the key, then section, and then fade out 200. I'll explain in just a second why we're using section here. Function, and then obviously on callback, what we want to do is to do this, replace with, and we're going to replace it with V. We want to hide it by default, and then fade it in at the speed of 200 milliseconds. So that's our load method. Now, what's happening here? Why are we using section? As you can see, we're going to be looking for the specific element, like for instance, if we go to our template. Our template, left and right, obviously we have ID, so it's going to be left and right because these are the parameters, these are the indexes inside of our content array, as you can see, right and left. So we've got a content, but also because we want to fade in and fade out, we cannot just fade out the container. So what we're doing, all of our content, all of the content of the pages, as you can see, is enclosed within the section, the same as the column one. So if we go to the column, you got a section, because obviously we're using HTML5 here, and section is one of the elements of the structure which we can use. So we're using the section which we are fading out, but obviously our left and right column structures remains the same. So we're not affecting this. So the content fades out, we wrap with this section tag, and then fades in with the new section, because obviously all of these have section wrapping the content basically. So that's why we're using the section here. It's fading out. Once it's faded out, it's replaced with a new content and fades in at the same speed basically. So that's what's happening with the load method. Now in the next video, we're going to create the last method, which is basically rating this timer, which counts seconds, how many seconds we are on the current page or view basically, because whenever we're going to click on the link, obviously in modern browsers, then the page will not reload. However, the content is going to be replaced with a new one.